Hey, true believers, and welcome back to the True Alien Podcast. You know, your daily dose of the weird, the wonderful, and the downright extraterrestrial. I'm your host, Adrian Smith, and with me, as always, is the one and only Julia Jones. She's ready to help us sift through the cosmic clutter.
Always ready.
So listeners, strap yourselves in because today's paranormal probe is going to be a wild one. We're diving deep into the mystery of the Black Knight satellite, which is supposedly an alien artifact lurking up there in Earth's orbit.
Right.
And you guys have sent us so much on this, a ton of articles, forum threads, even a blurry photo or two, and it's our job to figure out, is this thing real? Or just another space myth?
Well, we've got a lot to unpack here. We've got ancient languages, a reclusive crypto-linguist, a conspiracy-loving blogger who seems to have stumbled onto something big, and even a shadowy government agent sniffing around. Yeah, it's a real mixed bag.
Sounds like our kind of party. Okay, so let's start with this crypto-linguist, Dr. Karen Smith. The notes you sent me say she's brilliant, but pretty isolated. What's her deal?
It seems like she's had some kind of trauma in her past, something that made her distrust authority and basically become a recluse. Spends most of her time, buried in ancient texts and deciphering codes.
Okay, the perfect person to decode an alien message, right?
Yeah.
Which is apparently exactly what she did. Tell us about this signal she picked up.
So it wasn't easy. Apparently, Karen was sifting through radio static for months before she found a pattern, something deliberate buried in the noise.
Wow.
And then she had to crack the code, which turned out to be a language dead for centuries.
Wait, hold up. Dead for centuries. You mean like Latin?
Yep.
Or ancient Egyptian? How is something broadcasting in a dead language?
That's what makes this so intriguing, right? It's not just any dead language. This one's only ever been found in some really obscure scrolls and ruins. The stuff that most linguists haven't even bothered with. And that means whoever or whatever is sending this signal, it can't be from Earth.
Okay, now we're talking spooky. So Karen figures out that this signal is in a super rare, super old language. That when this Black Knight comes into play.
Exactly. According to one of the forum posts that you sent me, Karen did some digging and realized that if the signal wasn't coming from Earth, the only logical source was this mysterious object in orbit, the Black Knight.
Okay, so for those of you just joining us down this rabbit hole, the Black Knight is this legendary satellite that conspiracy theorists have been obsessed with for ages. Some say it's been up there for thousands of years, sending out signals, watching us. But wait, wasn't it debunked as just space debris?
Right. There have been a lot of supposed photos that turned out to be, just mundane stuff. But this ancient language that Karen decoded, it throws a wrench into things. It's hard to just explain that away.
So we've got a mysterious signal in a language nobody's used for centuries, and it might be coming from this legendary Black Knight satellite.
Yeah.
No wonder Karen's keeping a low profile.
Yeah.
What does she do next? Does she call the president? Alert the media?
Surprisingly, no. She reaches out to Asher Trip Bennett, the conspiracy blogger.
Trip Bennett. Oh, yeah, the guy who's always chasing UFOs and government cover-ups. Didn't he claim he saw Bigfoot riding a unicorn once?
That one might be an exaggeration, but he definitely has a knack for digging up the strange and the unusual, and he's totally obsessed with the Black Knight. Apparently, he got this cryptic message with an address, Karen's address, and just showed up at her doorstep.
Okay, so now we have a reclusive linguist and a conspiracy-loving blogger teaming up over an ancient alien signal. This is getting good.
Yeah.
Where does a government agent fit into all of this?
Yeah, so Agent Zhou, he's been quietly investigating the Black Knight for months, according to a leaked document you sent me. He's not some, Men in Black type. More of a lone wolf digging through data and following leads.
Sounds like he takes his work seriously. What's his take on Trip getting involved? Probably not thrilled, right?
From the reports, Zhou was initially skeptical, but he's also pragmatic. He recognizes that Trip, eccentric as he is, has a real talent for finding things other people miss.
I guess so. So how did these three completely different people end up working together? It's like the beginning of some weird cosmic superhero team.
Yeah, it's definitely an unlikely alliance. Karen's got her decoded messages. Tripp's found some blurry satellite photos and forum chatter that seems to corroborate things. And then Zhou has access to this classified intel that nobody else does.
So they decide to join forces, right? Call it Mulder and Scully.
Not quite. They decide to pool their resources and figure out what the Black Knight really is. And what they discover is, well, let's just say it changes everything.
You're killing me with the suspense, Julia. All right, listeners, we'll be right back after a quick message.
Welcome back to the True Alien Podcast. So before the break, we were talking about our unlikely trio. Karen Tripp and Agent Zhou joining forces to uncover the truth about this Black Knight.
Yeah.
What they find is not just some hunk of metal or space debris.
Come on, Julia. Don't leave us hanging. What is it? Some kind of weapon. A spy satellite. Giant disco ball.
Well, according to Karen's analysis of the signal and some pretty wild readings you got from his classified sources, it seems the Black Knight is actually a living being.
A living being. You're
Yeah.
kidding me, right? Like some kind of space whale.
It's hard to say exactly what it is because the data is pretty fragmented, but it's definitely organic and it's emitting some kind of bioenergy signature that's unlike anything they've ever seen.
A living alien spaceship. That's straight out of science fiction. So what's it doing up there? Is it hostile?
Actually, Karen believes the opposite. Remember those pleas for help that she decoded? She thinks they weren't a warning about the Black Knight, but coming from it.
Oh, so this giant alien thing is actually stranded up there, hurt and alone. Man, that's kind of sad. What are they planning to do about it?
Well, their first instinct is to help, of course. But it turns out just getting close to the Black Knight triggers something unexpected.
Unexpected how? Does it shoot lasers, grow tentacles, beam them up?
Not quite that dramatic. But according to Tripp's blog, which granted you have to take with a grain of salt as soon as their ship gets within a certain range, the Black Knight starts reacting. It sends out these pulses of energy and they can hear these low guttural groans coming from it, almost like it's in pain.
Wait, so they actually went up there in a spaceship. How did Tripp even get his hands on a spaceship?
Yeah, that part's a bit unclear. But the point is they got close enough to realize that the Black Knight wasn't just some passive object. It was a living being, and it was definitely aware of their presence.
I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
So they're up there face to face with this giant wounded alien thing.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next? Do they try to communicate?
Karen tries, yes. She uses her knowledge of the ancient language to try and soothe it, let it know that they mean no harm. And it seems to work for a while, at least. The energy pulses calm down, the groaning subsides. But there's another problem.
Another problem. Don't tell me it's pregnant and about to give birth to 1 million little alien babies. Or worse, it's got space fleas.
Haha, nothing quite that terrifying, but almost as bad. Zoo's instruments are picking up that the Black Knight's energy signature is unstable, fluctuating wildly. It's like its life force is flickering. He realizes that the situation is getting dangerous, and they need to get out of there.
But they just got there. Can't they do something to help it? Maybe give it some space band-aids.
They don't have time.
Yeah.
Just as they're trying to pull away, the Black Knight lets out this massive energy surge, a final desperate broadcast, and then it implodes.
It implodes like a dying star. Are they caught in the blast?
Miraculously, no. Their ship is battered but intact, but the Black Knight is gone, reduced to a cloud of cosmic dust.
And back on Earth, something even stranger happens.
Julie, you can't keep ending on these cliffhangers. What happens on Earth? What about Karen, Tripp, and Zhou?
Well, Tripp and Zhou are physically okay, though. Pretty shaken up, as you can imagine. But Karen, she faints when the Black Knight implodes. And when she wakes up, her voice has changed. It's deeper, more resonant, almost otherworldly. And the first words she speaks are, "They're coming, and they aren't friendly." Okay, now that's a cliffhanger I can get behind. Who's coming? What does Karen know? Listeners, we'll be right back with the final part of this paranormal probe after a short break. Welcome back to the True Alien Podcast, folks. We've been digging into the mystery of the Black Knight, and things just got a whole lot weirder. The Black Knight imploded. Karen's talking about some they that are on their way, and I'm starting to think maybe Tripp was right about those unicorn-riding Bigfoot creatures.
Let's try to stick to the facts here, Adrian. What's fascinating about Karen's warning is that it ties into a theory that's been floating around the UFO community for a while now, the idea that the Black Knight wasn't a threat, but a protector.
A protector, like our own personal alien bodyguard. That's a pretty cool concept, I have to admit. But why would something that powerful need to hide? And what does its destruction mean for us now?
That's what we need to figure out, right? One of the articles that you sent mentioned a researcher who believes that the Black Knight was damaged, maybe in some ancient cosmic battle. It was hiding out in Earth orbit recovering and sending out a distress signal, the one that Karen picked up.
Okay, so it wasn't a threat. It was calling for help. But who was it calling? And who are these they that are coming? Are they the ones who heard it?
That's a possibility. But there's another theory, a bit more out there, that connects to some ancient astronaut theories. What if the Black Knight wasn't just a random alien, but part of some ancient civilization that had a connection to Earth?
Whoa, you're talking like ancient aliens built the pyramids kind of stuff. But if that's true, wouldn't there be more evidence?
There are a lot of unexplained artifacts and ancient texts that could support this theory. But it's all open to interpretation, of course. The point is, the Black Knight might have been more than just a ship. It might have been a lifeline to our past, and now that lifeline is gone.
So what does that mean for our future? Are these they coming to conquer us, enslave us, force us to listen to endless loops of disco music?
It's impossible to say for sure, but what's interesting is that Karen's warning aligns with some ancient prophecies that talk about the return of sky gods, some benevolent, some not.
Okay, so we've got this mysterious object in space, a dead language, a shadowy government agent, a conspiracy-loving blogger, a reclusive linguist with a sudden voice change, and ancient prophecies about the return of sky gods. Sounds like a pretty typical Tuesday, right?
I think the takeaway here is that the universe is a much stranger and more complex place than we can even imagine. The Black Knight, whatever it was, is a reminder that we're not alone, and we may not be as safe as we thought.
All right, listeners, I don't know about you, but I'm officially creeped out, but also kind of excited. The Black Knight might be gone, but the mystery continues. Maybe these they will show up and explain everything, or maybe they'll just zap us with their alien ray guns. Either way, we'll be here to cover it. Don't forget to rate and follow the show for more true alien stories.
Until then, keep those eyes on the sky and stay curious.